Well, good morning everybody. It's an Englishman in Asia this morning, Saturday morning, the 5th of March, and we're down on the promenade at Hung Hom, walking down to Tsim Sha Tsui. Saturday morning stroll. And this is the harbour pathway, and you can see the blocks of flats here. They absolutely tower around the front. And this is the pathway. And this pathway will lead us all the way, if you follow it, it will lead you all the way down to the Star Ferry at Tsim Sha Tsui. Probably about 40 minutes walk. A very nice walk indeed this morning. So we'll pick you up a little bit later on down this path, down to where I've just come from, and then we're going up now round towards the front at Whampoa. So you've just picked me up on the end of the first section of the pathway, and you can just see now, I'm just looking across to Cruise Terminal, and you can just see the mist on the water. And in fact there's a ferry just going across there to North Point. Quite an extraordinary view this morning. Very rarely do you see the mist. As I swing round here, you come in sort of Quarry Bay, North Point, Quarry Bay, across there, and you can still see that level of mist. So you just caught up with me now, coming further down the path, and the big building you can see in front there is the Harbour Grand Complex. And as we get nearer to that, I'll give you a little bit more of an insight. So we're just coming round now the side of the Harbour Grand Cola, or the Harbour Grand Centre, which is the office complex here, and as you can see we're continuing to walk down the path. It's a great walk this, if you wanted, and obviously on a day like today it's absolutely fabulous, but if you wanted, everybody comes exercising down here. You'll see people running and jogging as I'm doing this video. Big pastime here, people do exercise on a regular basis. You can just see the well, in the mist there you can just see the steamer ferry, I think, or the look-alike steamer ferry, just going into North Point. This part of the promenade has actually only just been connected in recent years. It was always sectioned, you could never actually walk the full distance, but now they've opened it up. It is great, and of course you get some fabulous views as you come round here now of Victoria Harbour and Hong Kong Island. So Wan Chai, North Point, Quarry Bay, and then you're moving out. That's the mouth of the harbour. The tall building in the middle of the video now, that is the Central Plaza, and that is in Wan Chai. And as we come down here, you can just see that is the Pearl, the cruise ship, the sightseeing cruise ship for the harbour. That leaves that docking maybe 2-3 times a day, twice, once morning, once afternoon, and then it does the harbour tour in the evening for the light show. And you can see we're going to continue to walk down in this direction. Okay, so we're just on the path, continuing on the pathway here, and we're just coming around to Whampoa and Whampoa Garden. And that's the Ferry Terminal at Whampoa, and in the tall building behind the Ferry Terminal, that's the Rosewood, and then in the distance there is the IFC, and just behind the IFC is the Peak, slightly shrouded in mist, not too much. It'll be a great view from up there this morning, looking down onto the city. Some of the video I will do walking round the Peak and looking into Hong Kong Harbour. And there we go, that's the flats at Whampoa Gardens. A lovely coffee shop actually just under the block of flats there, called Knock. Serve lovely lunches and brunches, nice coffee, nice pastries. So just around the other side of the ferry terminal, which actually quite strangely is closed. Again, presumably must be due to COVID restrictions. The Hong Kong water taxis normally would run from the Whampoa Pier down to Central, which is down in the distance over there. You may just be able to see it near the Ferris wheel there. And this is the pathway now continuing, and you see it, we're now getting nearer to the Rosewood complex. Not the other side of the Rosewood is the K11 shopping centre. Again, something I'll do in another video for all you shoppers. Anyway, we'll catch up with you a bit later down the pathway. Okay, so we're just coming down to the end of the first section of this pathway, and when we get to the end here, it takes a slight deviation inland. We just go up the ramp and make a left turn at the top, and we're back down walking on the section towards Rosewood and K11. Bit more harbour life there. One of the tugs just pulling one of the cargo ships. So we've just got the pathway from the promenade, and you reach the top. This is an elevated section, but eventually takes you right down to the Rosewood K11, and the path will wind its way round all the way to Tsim Sha Tsui Ferry Terminal. So here we come, just coming now down the finish of the elevated section and onto the Tsim Sha Tsui front promenade. Still surrounded by the runners. Pretty much the mist has dropped now and we're into a glorious day. It's just after 11 o'clock here in the morning, and the temperature's climbed up to about 23-24 degrees, I think, with a high of 27 today. So not bad for March 5th. We're on the Tsim Sha Tsui promenade, the flat section now. Again, this was finished probably about 2 years ago. There was nothing here, you couldn't walk down this section, but they really have done a lot of work on the front here, and it's a glorious walk, and particularly of course when it's a day like today, and you've still got those fabulous views across the harbour. Way to spend your Saturday morning, is it? A quick cruise across the harbour, and if we look back now to where we've come from, you can see the Kai Tak cruise terminal in the distance down there. Excuse that, took out of focus. On the pathway there, the elevated pathway, which has come all the way down onto the front here. And the promenade now swings its way around to the right. And as I say, probably another 10-15 minutes walk, you'll find yourself down at the Ferry Terminal at Tsim Sha Tsui and the end of the pathway. Okay, so we've just left the promenade now from there, and I think you can just see down there in the distance is the clock tower, sort of centre of the video. That is the finish of the promenade walk. So I hope you've enjoyed that little stroll with me down there this morning on the promenade from Hung Hom down to Tsim Sha Tsui. This has been an Englishman in Asia on Saturday morning. I think if you're watching the video on YouTube, there's something down there that says subscribe or something, so if you could do that. I always thought that meant you had to pay some sort of a subscription, so it shows what I know about YouTube, but apparently it just means you like watching the videos. I hope you do. We're going to post some more in Hong Kong, so keep an eye out on the YouTube channel for an Englishman in Asia. Thank you, good morning.